Manipulation isn't always obvious. It's not just about someone blatantly lying or being controlling in the most obvious ways. Sometimes it's subtle, sneaky, and designed to make you question yourself without even realizing it. Let's talk about some of the most common manipulation tactics and break them down one by one. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone distorts your perception of reality, making you question your own thoughts, feelings, and memories. It's a tactic often used in abusive relationships, whether personal or professional or societal, to gain control and undermine your sense of self. It often begins with small, seemingly harmless comments. For example, they might dismiss your concerns by saying, "You're making a big deal out of nothing," or challenge your memory with phrases like, "Are you sure that's what happened? That's not how I remember it." These interactions might seem inconsequential at first, but over time they accumulate. The person gaslighting you slowly chips away at your confidence, making you second guess everything from how you felt in the moment to what you experienced. What makes gaslighting particularly insidious is its gradual nature. It's not just a single event but a series of interactions designed to destabilize you. You might start to think, maybe I am overreacting, or maybe I did remember it wrong. This doubt grows like a shadow over your mind, darkening your trust in yourself and creating a dependency on the person feeding you these lies. They position themselves as the rational or objective one in the relationship, making you believe that they hold the truth and that your own perspective is flawed. The hallmark of gaslighting is that it's not about honest disagreement or misunderstanding. It's a deliberate effort to distort reality for the manipulator's gain. The damage it causes goes beyond simple confusion. It erodes your ability to trust yourself, often leaving deep emotional scars that can take years to heal. Guilt tripping is a manipulative tactic where someone uses your sense of guilt as leverage to control your actions, decisions, or emotions. When guilt itself is a natural response when we have done something wrong, guilt tripping weaponizes that feeling, twisting it into a tool of coercion. It's especially damaging because it often comes from people we trust and care about, family, friends, partners, or colleagues, making it harder to recognize and resist. Sure, there are classic phrases like, "After all I've sacrificed for you, this is how you repay me," or "I guess I just don't matter to you anymore." But guilt tripping can also take subtle forms: a heavy sigh when you decline a favor, a disappointed tone when you say no, or even silence that lingers long enough to make you uncomfortable. These actions are designed to evoke a specific reaction: compliance. You're made to feel like the bad guy, even when you have done nothing wrong, and the weight of that guilt pressurizes you to act in ways that serve their needs, not yours. What makes guilt tripping so damaging is that it shifts the emotional burden. Instead of other person owning their feelings or communicating openly about what they want, they place the responsibility squarely on your shoulders. You're not just being asked to accommodate them, you're being made to feel obligated to do so, as if your refusal makes you selfish, ungrateful, or unkind. This dynamic can be exhausting because no matter how much you give, it's rarely enough to resolve the underlying issue. The silent treatment goes beyond simply not talking. It's a deliberate tactic to punish, control, or manipulate. By withdrawing communication and affection, the person using it leaves you feeling confused, anxious, and desperate to restore normalcy, even if you're not at fault. It's a subtle yet powerful form of emotional manipulation designed to make you feel small, unsettled, and entirely dependent on their response. At first, it might seem innocent. Perhaps they just need some space to cool off. But as the silence stretches on, it stops being about space and becomes about power. You find yourself replaying every interaction, overanalyzing your words and actions, trying to figure out what went wrong. This self blame is exactly what the silent treatment is meant to provoke. It shifts the focus away from the actual problem and places all the emotional weight squarely on you, making you feel like the sole culprit. What makes the silent treatment particularly damaging is its psychological toll. Unlike an argument where feelings and perspectives are laid out, silence offers no closure or clarity. It's an open void that keeps you in a state of emotional limbo. The lack of communication is not meant to solve the issue, it's a way to control the narrative, forcing you to bend to their unspoken terms just to regain a sense of stability. Projection is a defense mechanism where someone unconsciously or sometimes consciously assigns their own flaws, insecurities, or wrongdoings to someone else. It's like holding up a mirror, but instead of reflecting on themselves, they make you feel like the reflection is yours. While it can sometimes happen without malicious intent, it's also used as a manipulation tactic to deflect blame and avoid accountability. For example, a person who is lying might accuse you of dishonesty, or someone who feels jealous might insist that you are the one being insecure. This tactic shifts attention away from their own behavior and puts you on the defensive. Instead of addressing their own issues, they successfully sidestep responsibility while leaving you questioning yourself. What makes projection tricky is that it's not just something manipulators use. It's something we all do at times, often unknowingly. In moments or discomfort or vulnerability, it can be easier to point fingers than to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. For instance, blaming someone else for being critical when we are being self-conscious, or accusing a partner of being distant when we are the ones pulling away. These small acts of projections are usually unintentional, but they still serve the same purpose, avoiding self-reflection and the accountability that comes with it. The harm escalates when projection is used repeatedly or knowingly. It creates an unhealthy dynamic where the person on the receiving end is left doubting their own feelings and behaviors, while the person projecting avoids addressing their own. Over time, this can damage trust and create a one-sided relationship where only one person is taking emotional responsibility. All these manipulation tactics have one thing in common. They are all about control. They are not about solving problems or building healthier relationships. They are about shifting power dynamics in a way that benefit the manipulator. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step to breaking free from the influence. When you understand what's happening, you can set boundaries, trust your instincts, and take back control of your reality. It's not easy, but it's worth it. If you like this video, do subscribe to our channel for more such content. Hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.